Iceland after a referendum on a deal to repay Britain over a failed Icelandic bank. The government bailed out British savers when Icesave went under. Now it wants the money back. Early results indicate the result to be a resounding no. From Reykjavik, our Europe editor Gavin Hewitt reports.
In Iceland, this was referendum day. A time to protest and a time to vote. Voters were being asked whether they backed a deal that would have involved Iceland paying Britain over £2 billion, the amount the UK government had paid to savers after the Icelandic bank Icesave collapsed. In tough times, many were unsympathetic to the demands of Britain and its Chancellor. It was, however, an oddball referendum. The people were voting on an old deal that had already been improved on by the British, where the interest charged would be much lower. So this was a chance to make a gesture, to show they would not roll over easily.
I voted no.
I said no.
No.
But dig a little deeper, and most voters here recognise Britain should get its money.
I think most Icelanders agree on that the money should be paid, but in which way?
I assume that they will get some money, for sure. But hopefully Iceland will be able to recover from this as well.
Despite the number of no votes cast today, a majority of Icelanders do expect for Britain to get its money. The only question is, on what terms? Settling the debts could cost each Icelander £7,000, and that is why the terms on which Britain gets paid are so sensitive, and that is what drew the no voters to the voting booths today.
Well, a short time ago, Gavin Hewitt told us that it was thought that over 90% of people in Iceland had voted no.
Well, in the end, it was a resounding no. Certainly over 90%, perhaps as high as 95%. Now, partly this reflected the fact that the deal on which people were voting had been superseded by a better offer from Britain. But it also was used by Icelanders as a way of sending a signal to Britain and to the Netherlands. Yes, they would pay back money, they'd honour their obligations, but not at any price. Now, where do things go from here? During this referendum, some pretty harsh words have been spoken. Britain, for instance, was accused by lots of people here of trying to bully or muscle Icelanders. But actually, the sides involved in this, the countries who are negotiating over this, are not as far apart as it may seem. And my expectation is that over the next few weeks, negotiations will resume. And I think behind all the rhetoric, there is an expectation that perhaps a deal can be done that will satisfy all sides.
Well, a couple of updates coming through from Iceland. The Foreign Minister quoted in the last hour or so as saying that Britain and the Netherlands have indicated they're willing to continue talks on the Icesave debts after tonight's referendum. We've received an indication, he said, it certainly doesn't weaken our hand, and a statement from the government saying that it is confident that an acceptable deal can be reached with Britain and the Netherlands. They say negotiators for the three countries had been making progress during 3 weeks of talks, and they are confident, the Icelandic government say, that a solution acceptable to all parties can be achieved.